Special News Bulletin, Hurricane Erin 2025. Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our special news bulletin. Our main focus today is Hurricane Erin, one of the most intense and complex storms of this year's Atlantic hurricane season. Over the past 24 hours, Erin has undergone significant changes in direction, intensity, and scope of impact. This has forced millions of people across the Caribbean, the Bahamas, Bermuda, the U.S. East Coast, and even Canada to monitor developments hour by hour. We will provide you with a full overview of the current situation, forecasts for the coming days, and the storm's potential impacts across multiple nations and territories. In addition, we will highlight a new tropical system forming behind Erin that could become the next major threat. Today's bulletin is designed to help you gain a clear understanding of the broader weather picture unfolding across the Atlantic. Hurricane season context and the emergence of Erin. This year's Atlantic hurricane season is forecast to be one of the most active in recent memory. Sea surface temperatures in the main development region, MDR, are running above average, while atmospheric conditions are favorable for the formation and strengthening of tropical cyclones. Against this backdrop, Erin has emerged as a particularly dangerous storm, drawing close attention from the U.S. National Hurricane Center, NHC, international weather agencies, and the global scientific community. Just 2 days ago, Erin peaked at Category 5 on the Saffir-Simpson scale, with sustained winds of remarkable strength and a sharply defined eye. However, after undergoing an eyewall replacement cycle, the storm temporarily weakened to Category 3. That does not mean the danger has passed. In fact, this transitional stage could pave the way for Erin to intensify again within the next 24 hours, possibly challenging previous records. Current status, position and scale. Latest data places Erin north of Puerto Rico. Moving northwest, the storm's structure has changed dramatically. From a compact system, Erin has expanded to 2 or even 3 times its former size in just 24 hours. This means the zone of strong winds, heavy rainfall, and high seas has broadened considerably. Although central winds currently place Erin at Category 3, impacts are already being felt in Puerto Rico, where flooding and infrastructure damage have been reported. Satellite imagery reveals a massive eye forming. If this completes, Erin could re-strengthen to Category 4, possibly approaching Category 5 again. However, given the storm's larger size, intensification will be slower than before, adding complexity to forecasts and forcing constant adjustments to computer models. Impacts in Puerto Rico and the Antilles. Erin's outer rainbands have already brought torrential rains to Puerto Rico, causing widespread flooding. Rivers have surpassed danger levels, prompting emergency flood warnings. In the Virgin Islands, strong winds and high seas have disrupted shipping and aviation. Although Erin has not made direct landfall in Puerto Rico or the Antilles, its sheer size has extended impacts hundreds of kilometers from the center. This underscores the reality that a storm does not need to make landfall to cause major damage. Forecast for the Bahamas and Bermuda. Erin's projected track brings it closer to the Bahamas. Within the next 24 hours, the islands are expected to feel powerful winds and dangerous surf. Tropical storm warnings are already in place for the southeastern Bahamas. Seas, 15 to 20 feet near shore, with offshore waves possibly reaching 90 to 100 feet. Storm surge, flooding risks for low-lying islands. Winds, tropical storm force initially, with the potential for Category 1 to 2 hurricane winds if Erin edges closer. Bermuda, though further away, is bracing for massive swells. Cruises and flights have been cancelled, tourism schedules disrupted, and marine activities brought to a standstill. U.S. East Coast impacts, Florida to New England. Even without a direct landfall, Erin poses significant risks along the U.S. East Coast. Florida, offshore waves 15 to 20 feet, life-threatening rip currents. Beaches are flying red flags. Carolinas, Cape Hatteras could see tropical storm winds midweek. Gusts up to 60 miles per hour may trigger localized outages. Minor storm surge may flood low-lying zones. Virginia and Mid-Atlantic, Strong gusts and large waves threaten coastlines. Ferry services and fishing fleets may suspend operations. New England, by the weekend. Massachusetts and Maine are forecast to face heavy surf and strong winds. Dangerous rip currents could extend into Canadian waters. Experts stress that even in the absence of evacuation orders, complacency could be deadly. Swimming or water activities during this period are extremely unsafe. Potential impacts on Canada and Europe. As Erin curves northeast past the Bahamas and the U.S. East Coast, it is expected to weaken over cooler waters but still carry strong winds and heavy rains into Atlantic Canada, particularly Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. Longer-term projections suggest remnants could continue east toward the British Isles. Even as a post-tropical system, Erin may still disrupt European aviation and maritime operations with high winds and heavy rain. New system forming behind Erin. A tropical wave trailing Erin is being closely monitored. Forecasters believe it has the potential to develop into a hurricane within 7 to 10 days. Unlike Erin, this system has a higher chance of entering the Caribbean or Gulf of Mexico, posing a more direct threat to the U.S., particularly coastal states like Florida, Louisiana, or Texas. Severe weather across the U.S. heartland. While Erin dominates Atlantic headlines, the U.S. mainland also faces hazardous weather. Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota, Nebraska. Severe thunderstorms, damaging winds, and large hail. Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan. Thunderstorms with potential isolated tornadoes over the next few days. Residents are urged to follow local weather alerts and prepare emergency measures. Conclusion. Erin is a prime example of how a hurricane can cause widespread disruption without direct landfall. With its immense size and destructive energy, it has already generated record offshore waves up to 100 feet, dangerous rip currents along the U.S. East Coast, torrential rains and flooding in Puerto Rico despite being hundreds of miles offshore, severe disruptions to global shipping, aviation, and tourism. Hurricane Erin remains a major threat across the Atlantic. Even if it does not strike the U.S. mainland directly, its indirect impacts, high surf, strong winds, and rip currents, are extremely hazardous. Coastal populations must heed all official warnings and avoid unnecessary risks. This storm also serves as a reminder that the 2025 hurricane season is far from over. With additional systems likely to form, preparedness and vigilance remain essential for safeguarding lives and communities. Thank you for watching. We will continue to bring you updates in upcoming bulletins.